Yesterday, I was rummaging around on my ceiling trying to find a box of Halloween decorations. Even though it is September, my girlfriend insists we decorate the house now. Looking back, I probably shouldn't have been up there at all. Our ceiling isn't like the typical attic. The flooring was never finished, and exposed beams litter and extend from every corner. The only way not to fall through the roof is to strategically walk on the beams. Despite this, there is a small section in the attic where a piece of sheet metal has been screwed into a couple beams. It is about the width and length of a double bed, and is piled high with boxes. Unfortunately for me, however, it is placed at the far end of the attic, which means 20 minutes of near falling through the roof experiences just to lug out a box of musty decorations. Yesterday, I can remember waking up, before downing some coffee and pulling down the ceiling hatch and extending the ladder. I climbed it with my trusty flashlight in hand and began the rat maze of safe spaces to stand. The attic was boiling, and eventually, after what seemed like a lifetime, I approached the mountain of kitchenware and holiday decorations. Everything was going smoothly. I had not sidestepped once, and had surprisingly good balance for a change. I shouldn't have jinxed myself. Before I knew it, I had accidentally landed right in the middle of the plasterboard, screaming as I fell directly down. I had both hands flailing, trying to grasp a beam to save myself. With a thud, I landed in the middle of a white-walled room. Confused and sore, I stood up, babying my shoulder. We had not had a white wall in our house since we moved in 2 years ago. To see a whole white room was like a fever dream. I rubbed my head and my shoulder, struggling to understand how this room came to be. I didn't even know this room existed, and I doubt my girlfriend had any idea about it. There was no door either, no windows to look out of. There was no way to enter this room from the outside. There was no way to find this room. It was clearly meant to be hidden. If only it stayed that way. I looked up and groaned at the massive hole in my ceiling. I would need to call someone in to fix it. I had no idea how they would be able to get in without a door. The room wasn't completely empty, however. After a few months of confused silence, I noticed a small chair positioned awkwardly in the corner. It has scratches that look inhumane on it, and I doubted that it was strong enough to hold me. But this would be the only way out of the doorless room. I thanked my mother for blessing me with tall jeans as I dragged the chair to be positioned under the hole. Careful of my shoulder, I stood on the chair and pulled myself back into the attic. The rest of the day was uneventful. I managed to get the Halloween decorations out of the attic and made a phone call to some local guys capable of fixing my ceiling. My girlfriend was none the wiser. I woke up this morning and said goodbye to her, wishing her a good day, and telling her, jokingly, she better come back home this evening. Everything was acting normal. However, the thing that really was off about today was what happened when the repair guys came. The hole in the roof had moved. They walked in early morning, ready to tackle the task I had described as giant. I was just about to explain to them how they would need to go into the ceiling to find the hole, when one of them gasped. "Blimey, that's a big hole you got there. How did you not break your counter?" one asked in disbelief. I was confused until I looked up. The hole was now directly in the center of my kitchen, right above my wooden table. "Just lucky, I guess," I muttered, confused. They patched it up quickly and left after I had paid them. When I walked back into the kitchen, it was like no repairs had been done at all. I braved the roof one more time, and sure enough, when I entered, there was a gaping hole in my ceiling. directly next to our hoarder tower full of old boxes and trinkets. When I finally mustered the courage to enter the room again, I brought along a tall ladder. When I entered the room, I noticed the wall color had changed. Instead of a pristine white, it was a deep, almost blood-like red. The floor was painted solid black, with a gold-trimmed pentagram laying dead center of the room. Black hands prints were scattered all over the wall, mostly condensed near the floorboards. I also noticed scratches, almost like claw marks that had ripped apart the trims. The room smelled of burnt flesh, not of an animal's. It smelled more like when you accidentally burn your skin. The room was also hot. I was sweating profusely, and my hands had started to sweat out of nerves. It got to the point when the ladder refused to get off. It stung badly, making my hands itch. Eventually, I scrambled from the room, clumsily navigating the ceiling and making it back into the house. Shaking and in disbelief, I slammed the hatch closed. My hands were still red, and small cuts were appearing on my skin. I'm currently sitting on my couch writing this, waiting for my girlfriend to come home from work. The reason I'm sharing this story is because I keep hearing whispering, and the cuts on my hands have started to morph into upside-down crosses and pentagrams. The whispering has been following me ever since I exited the demon room, as I have decided to name it. It seems as though the voices linger, following me everywhere, sending electric chills up my spine, every time one of them breathes out a sentence. The main voice I have been hearing is deep and raspy. However, many other voices float around in the mix. Some are the voices of children, some are of adults. I'm really hoping my girlfriend makes it home soon. The voices keep saying the same thing, and I'm starting to believe them. Each time they talk, I get more and more frightened. Each time the voices get meaner and meaner, louder and louder, screaming terrifying words at me.
She's not coming back.